neighbors, brothers, rivals, partners. Relations between China and Vietnam have taken complicated turns throughout history. Diplomatic ties were first formed 65 years ago, a time when the two countries looked out for each other like true brothers. Many Vietnamese took part in Chinese revolutionary events, including the Long March and the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. And China supported Vietnam during its wars against France and the U.S., supplying the country with weapons and goods worth tens of billions of U.S. dollars. But cracks appeared in this brotherhood in the late 1970s. Professor Su Hao from the Diplomacy Department at China Foreign Affairs University says the tensions emerged under a backdrop of deteriorating Sino-Soviet relations.
After World War II, the world had entered a state of Cold War. One of its biggest features is the clash between countries. There were clashes between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, between China and the U.S., and also between China and the Soviet Union. As a socialist country too, Vietnam finally chose the side of the Soviet Union. And in the post-Cold War period, China and Vietnam had entered a state of rivalry.
Ideological and territorial disputes broke out from 1975, which ended up with military conflicts in 1979 along the border, sending relations between the two neighbors to their chillest. This decade-long rivalry finally met an end in the early 90s, when leaders from both sides sat down for a historic meeting setting off the normalization of ties. The recovery in diplomacy and peaceful relations were maintained for decades. However, last year, an oil rig in Chinese waters off the Xisha Islands in the South China Sea stirred up tensions once again. But this time, both leaders opted for caution and calm.
Both leaders from China and Vietnam have realized that the two countries' relationship should be viewed as a whole. They should look at the overall situation. The disputes in the South China Sea are just a partial issue. They can't let the partial problem affect the peaceful and stable overall development of the relationship.
This year, official exchanges between the two countries have seen a record high. Professor Su says the two neighbors share common interests in many areas such as political cooperation, maritime security, economic development, and social exchanges. And looking forward, he's optimistic.
A good development of China-Vietnam ties will play an important and positive role in boosting the development of China and ASEAN's friendly relationship as well. The integration of East Asia has crucial significance for building the East Asia Economic Community and the peaceful and stable development of the region. Looking at the big picture, I'm quite optimistic about the future of China-Vietnam relations.
China has been Vietnam's biggest trade partner for 10 years. The professor says with closer bilateral ties, more economic cooperation and opportunities are likely in the near future. Jiang Shaoyi, CCTV.